Welcome back to Carib 21, wherever in the Caribbean or in the diaspora you're watching from. So I have to say that I am very, very excited about the future of the Caribbean. So I've been covering the CARICOM heads of government, their meeting that they met in Barbados over the past week. And I have to say, the future of the Caribbean is looking bright. And I personally believe that the years that we have ahead in the Caribbean is going to be way better than the years that we have experienced so far. And as I said in a video that I did recently, that I am going to be showing highlights from the CARICOM heads of government. I'm going to be reacting to some of the speeches that were done over the week that it was held in Barbados. So I'm also going to be reacting to the different presentations done by the different leaders, the heads of CARICOM, over this week-long conference. And what I want to focus on today is the CARICOM free movement of people. So I want to talk about the CARICOM free movement of people. And there's a few things. I'm going to break this down in different categories. I'm going to talk about the questions that I have, the concerns, and the possibility for this CARICOM free movement of people. Just imagine the entire CARICOM region, 15 nation islands, and you are able to move from one island to the next doing businesses. You are able to move throughout these 15 Caribbean nations, whether it's for education, whether it's for job opportunities, whether it's for business. What is this going to look like? So that is what I'm going to talk about today. So first, let me talk about my concerns with this free movement of people, this CARICOM free movement of people. So as a Jamaican that's been traveling for over 20 years, one of the common things that Jamaicans face when traveling, not only internationally but regionally in the Caribbean, is what a lot of Jamaicans see as discrimination. That as soon as the Jamaican passport is pulled out, that they are pulled aside, heavily searched, and they're treated differently when going to different countries. And as I said, this is very commonplace in the Caribbean also. We have seen a lot of horror stories of Jamaicans traveling to other Caribbean countries and feel that they have been treated unfairly. So this is my first concern about the free movement of people. How is it going to be monitored to make sure that, one, people like from Jamaica, or it could even be Trinidad and Tobago, because the reality is that a lot of the islands that have majority population could face problems going into a place like St. Vincent, going into a place like Barbados with smaller population, because in fairness to a place like St. Vincent, in fairness to Barbados, they're going to want to control their population to make sure that there's not an influx of Caribbean nationals coming into their island. So they have to have a way to control the amount of people that is coming in at any particular time. What is this going to look like? So, and I am not the only person with this concern, because at a recent town hall in Barbados that was a part of the whole CARICOM heads of government, Jamaica, the Jamaican Prime Minister and the Foreign Affairs Minister stayed and they did a town hall with Jamaicans living in Barbados, and this concern came up. So take a look at this video and we'll talk about it when I come back.
Good night to the delegation. I'm David Bromfield, a student at Keville, law student, and also constitutional chairperson for JESAC. I think my question is more directed to the minister.
Sure.
As it pertains the CSME and free movement within the Caribbean region, though I would like to talk about the stipend as well. This looms great on my heart. So sometimes, and I'm going to be, direct, Minister, I feel as though Jamaicans are treated as second-class Caribbean citizens whenever we're traveling within the Caribbean region. I do understand that we do have a privileged passport in comparison to other international passports, but I want to focus more on the French Antilles. Jamaicans require a visa to visit the French Antilles, and it's quite saddening. While Martinique, Guadeloupe, St. Martin are French territories, they're also Caribbean islands. Thankfully, Martinique is now an associate member of CARICOM yesterday, and I saw, Minister, when you were coming at the airport, you said that the CSME and free movement within the Caribbean looms heavy on your heart as well. And so I want to know if we can't get a wave of visa restriction, but a relaxation, similar to St. Martin, the Dutch side, where if you have a full validity US visa, Jamaicans are able to enter the country. The truth is, most Jamaicans, the visa that we apply for and we have is a full validity US visa, not a UK visa and not a Schengen full validity visa. And even when you do that on the French embassy, the wizard, as soon as you put Jamaican passport, it's out of the window. Regrettably, I had to appeal a decision to the French embassy because I was refused, and I knew it was based on my Jamaican passport. Thankfully, that was successful because I knew I qualified. So that's my question. And also in relation to, there's some, I don't have clear clarity. The Glino a couple years ago spoke about the Schengen visa waiver, and that Jamaica did not submit a couple years ago when the Eastern Caribbean was submitting. I'd also like to know why, if you can say, and what are we doing in relation to that, if we have any plans for a waiver anytime soon.
Okay, so that was a Jamaican law student living in Barbados that attended the town hall meeting last week and expressed similar concern to what I expressed earlier. So, sound off in the comment section if you're watching this video now and you're wondering about the free movement of Caribbean nationals across the 15 Caribbean nations, and you have any concern, you're thinking that, how is this going to work? What are your concerns? Sound off in the comment section and let me know what you're thinking. I also have a lot of questions too, and I think one of my main questions would be like, can we truly have free flow of people going across the Caribbean, or is there going to be some control to it? And if not, what are the mechanisms that's going to be put in place to make sure that, in particular, smaller island nations are not burdened? And let me just give you an example. Like, I'm Jamaican born, and would consider myself an honorary Vincentian. And Jamaica and St. Vincent, I would say they are very similar in the way they feel in the atmosphere in those two islands. And I could easily see Jamaicans falling in love with St. Vincent. So what are the mechanisms that are going to be put in place that if an influx of Jamaicans decide that, okay, I went to St. Vincent, I fell in love with St. Vincent, and now I want to stay in St. Vincent, what is going to be put in place to make sure that there's not a burden on the school system, on the healthcare system, on housing? Because when we talk about the difference in the two islands, we're talking about a St. Vincent with a population of 105,000 people compared to a Jamaica with almost 3 million people. And if Jamaicans decide that they want to go to St. Vincent, is there any way to control the amount of people that's going to be able to move from Jamaica to live in St. Vincent? So that is just one major question that I have to ask. Okay, so another question that I would have is jobs, pertaining to jobs. So I'm going to use Jamaica and St. Vincent and the Grenadines again for this example. So I am Jamaican, a population of about 3 million people. I visit St. Vincent, fall in love with St. Vincent, decide that I want to move there, take my family there. And what is going to be in place to protect jobs for actual Vincentians? Is there going to be something put in place to make sure that when there's an opening for a job position, that people that are actually from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they would get first priority on those jobs as opposed to, say, like me from Jamaica? So those are just some questions, because as I said, as I think about it, when it comes on to the smaller island nations, so St. Vincent, 105,000 population, Grenada, 117,000, Barbados, little over 300,000, St. Kitts and Nevis. So what are the mechanisms that's going to be put in place to protect these smaller nations, to protect like job security, to protect like hospital, to protect school? because it's not impossible that an influx of people that could come from, as I said, Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana, anywhere in the Caribbean, and fall in love with a particular island, and then you see an influx of people from different islands coming in and causing a burden on the system. So that is just some of the questions that I have. So guys, if you have questions of your own, please put them in the comment section, and so we can figure this thing out together. And I'm sure that before the end of this year, we will get more information on what this free movement of Caribbean nationals will look like, because I'm sure they're all intelligent people sitting in a room, and the same concern that I have and that you might have concern over, I'm sure that they already thought about it. But I'm very curious to see how this is going to work, because now as it stands, like CARICOM nations, we don't need visas to go to the different islands, but there's a limitation on you can go there and you can stay for like 6 weeks and you go back to your island. At this point, I don't think you can go to any other Caribbean island and just work. But with the free movement of Caribbean nationals, I think that is going to be opened up to where you're not going to need a work permit. You can just go and seek employment in different islands. So yeah, like I'm going to be I'm very curious how this is going to work. And as I said, like I'm excited about it. It's like one Caribbean, one united Caribbean, but there are still kinks that I believe that they're going to have to work out, and I'm just curious as to how it's going to work. After pointing out all of that, all of my concerns, all of my questions, there's no doubt that this is going to be an amazing opportunity for people across the region. Just imagine that you are in St. Vincent and you want to go to Barbados and you want to open a business. You want to go to Trinidad, you want to open a business. I believe that this is going to be good for the Caribbean. We're going to be more like integrated. The cultures are going to come together to mix more than we see right now. Because like even when you go to Jamaica, like you go to Jamaica and you don't see a lot of like Guyanese restaurants. You don't see a lot of Trinidadian restaurants. You don't see a lot of Grenadian restaurants. And I believe that this type of integration is a perfect opportunity for us to not just mix with the movement of people, but the movement of cultures, and that we can truly become one Caribbean. So, guys, sound off in the comment section. Let me know what are your thoughts about this Caribbean free movement of people throughout CARICOM. What are your thoughts? Do you think that this is a good idea? Do you think that it's going to be successful? Are you here for it? Sound off in the comment section and let me know what are your thoughts. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.